All right, welcome into PrizePicks on 5 here on the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. I'm here with David Eversole. You can follow David at David W. Eversole. You can follow me, Ethan J. Skolnick. And at 5 Reasons Sports, we always tell you at the beginning, before all these episodes, make sure you're signing up with the code 5. If you don't use the code 5, you're missing out on money because they just give you free money up to $100. They will match you. You put down 20, they'll give you 20. You want to go a little more all in to 100, but make sure you do it that first time or else you can't go back and change it. Okay, so use that code 5, F-I-V-E. Now, obviously, no NBA right now, MLB. We know some of you are not so interested in. We're going to do some NFL futures. Preseason games, to me, are not interesting. You're just guessing what a coach is going to, what direction a coach is going to go in a game. It has nothing to do with the player. So we are going to do some futures. We're going to do AFC. You should check out our episode on the Dolphins. So we will not include them. David, I will let you start. What is your prized pick here?
Well, I'm just looking at some of the schedules of these teams outside of the AFC East specifically, and I came to the Cincinnati Bengals. I was looking at some of their opponents early on in the season, especially, and I came to the conclusion that Joe Burrow had a really, really great season last year, but the offense overall is a little bit misleading. They were a top 10 passing offense, but they're a bottom 10 rushing offense. So I think they kind of regressed to the median in both of those phases. And Burrow threw for 14 interceptions last year in 16 games. And this year they faced the top three teams in terms of interceptions from last year in Dallas, Buffalo, and New England. So given that tough schedule, and they also play New Orleans, who was fourth last year in total interceptions. So given all those scenarios, I like Burrow actually to go over 12 and a half interceptions for the season coming up.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You're talking about 17 games, one pick a game. He's there, even if he just goes a little bit under it, still there. I'm going to go to the quarterback side as well, but not to passing yards. I'm looking at Lamar Jackson. He is the best running quarterback in football, but I just think as he continues to get older, they try to manage his situation a little bit more. They will try to keep him in the pocket a little bit more than usual, and also him running so much exposes him to injury. So you're talking about a lot of yards there. I know Lamar can get you 200 rushing yards in a game, but I'm still going to go under 950 and a half yards. I just think that is the play there. So I'm going again with Lamar Jackson under 950 and a half yards.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think they're going to be leaning a little bit more on him in the pocket in terms of productivity and obviously with some of their backs there as well. Baltimore is going to be a run-heavy team, but I just don't think that distribution is going to be so heavily towards Lamar Jackson. I like that pick also.
And you got one more, David?
Yeah, I did go into the AFC East. I was looking at some of these games for the Patriots in particular, and Jacoby Myers seemed to really be one of Mac Jones's top targets. Obviously, they added Devontae Parker, but I still think Myers is clearly the number one receiver there. He had over 860 yards last year, and I think he exceeds 750 yards receiving for the Patriots over 17 game season.
All right, I'm going to go to a different division, but I'm going to look at Amari Cooper. And look, he's a good receiver, but that quarterback situation, I mean, now that Deshaun Watson is going to be out even longer, you take a look at Jacoby Brissett. We got that experience last year. I have a hard time believing they're going to have a 1,000-yard receiver. So I'm going to go under 900 and a half on Amari Cooper. We also know they like to run the ball. They can run the ball. And I think they're going to lean on that a little bit more this season. But again, the Jacoby Brissett experience scared the hell out of me. So I'm going to go with Amari Cooper under 905 yards or 900.5 yards.
Yeah, and Chubb's at 1,200 yards. He went just over that last year in rushing. He might go over that again this year for the Cleveland Browns. So given the Deshaun Watson situation and that Brissett's going to be in the pocket, I think that's going to be a pretty bad offense overall. Yeah. So, there's really not many plays I like there other than Chubb for the Browns for sure.
All right. So David Eversole, follow me at David W. Eversole. Make sure you're using that code FIVE for 5. NFC props. We'll do some of those coming up. Then we're going to cycle back to the Dolphins as more and more of their players get on the board. Have a good day, everybody.